You know how Donald Trump insists that thanks to him, we're now respected again around the world? Now that we've gotten rid of sleepy Joe Biden, the country is finally respected globally. Trump got a very, very rude awakening upon landing in the United Kingdom, where the respect for Donald Trump was not exactly palpable, wasn't exactly easy to find. First of all, protesters rolled out. This is amazing video. Protesters rolled out a huge, just monstrous image outside Windsor Castle on the grounds. And it's a massive blow up of the famous picture of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together. And as if this wasn't humiliating enough, ITV News reported on a projection of another image onto the side of Windsor Castle. And this one, it's Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Melania.
On that tower, we see that tower behind me there, Tom, currently white. Just a few moments ago, protesters, anti-Trump protesters from the hotel opposite, we think, managed to project some images on there. And what were they of? As you can probably see from some of these pictures, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and Jeffrey Epstein. That could not be a little more tricky and difficult just moments after Donald Trump arrived here. So, yeah, you couldn't really call it a security breach necessarily, but in terms of the diplomacy and laying on the charm, I'd say that was a bit of a massive failure. Let's just talk about tomorrow then.
Activists are determined to ruin Trump's time in the UK, and I love it. The UK's Channel 4 is going to be playing hours of Donald Trump's lies back to back to back on a loop during his visit. Now, these are anecdotes. I want to zoom out and talk about the bigger story because respect for the country around the world is relevant. It's relevant to trade deals. It's relevant to all sorts of multinational treaties and cooperation. Polling shows that America's image under Donald Trump is slipping sharply. In a Pew Research Center survey of 24 countries, more than half of respondents in 19 of the 24 countries say they lack confidence in Donald Trump's leadership internationally. You look across Western Europe, favorable attitudes towards the U.S. have dropped 6 to 28 points since Trump was reelected. That's according to YouGov's Eurotrack. You look specifically at Great Britain, 59% hold unfavorable views of Trump, with only about 23% viewing Trump favorably. So, you know, we see Trump arriving in the UK. There's the pomp, there's the ceremony, the circumstance, but he's arriving into protests. He's arriving into distrust, public skepticism, not like in fringe media, in polling. The country, the continent, people around the world feel negatively about the United States because Trump is at the helm. Now, the optics are foreign leaders see it. The media is watching. Citizens are watching, and it has real effects. Trust, alliances, cooperation. If other countries start to see the United States as unstable or untrustworthy, and untrustworthy is a big thing. We do a treaty, and then Trump doesn't like it, and he just gets out of the treaty, like the Iran nuclear deal. It looks terrible. It makes other countries say, oh, we're not going to work with you. Diplomatic leverage becomes strained. Soft power erodes. The narrative of Trump depends on renewal. We're going to restore America's stature to its previous glory. But you look at the signs and it's the opposite. It's global favorability down. The U.S. seen less as an ally, but like I guess we have to work with the U.S. on this or that. You deal with them, but you don't really trust them emotionally. And in the United Kingdom, you know, you've got these historic ceremonies, the state banquets and all of it. These are supposed to communicate respect and alliance. And when protesters hijack those, you start to see all of that erode and break down. And the symbolism really does matter here. Once again, it's one of these, if Trump hadn't said A was going to happen, we would be less focused on B happening. Trump said under Biden, we weren't respected, but under him, we would be respected. The opposite is what's happening. We're trying to simply hold him accountable to what he told us was going to take place. It's not happening. It's very bad for the country. Donald Trump has already packed his second-term cabinet with loyalists. He's threatened deportation as political punishment. He's expanded executive authority in ways we have not seen in modern history. These are real changes that are happening right now. And what's even more alarming is that a lot of the media is either glossing over the worst of it or they're reframing it so it all sounds a little more palatable. And that is why I use Ground News. This is a news comparison tool. Doesn't just feed you headlines, it shows you here's how different outlets, left, right, center, are covering the same story. And this is one of the few tools I know of that can really help you detect the political spin, the bias, catch stories that your usual sources might downplay or not cover at all, on everything from immigration policy to economic shifts. If you want to get a bigger picture, a broader picture of what's being reported, Ground News is an invaluable source to keep you informed. And Ground News is offering my audience 40% off their top tier Vantage plan. You'll only pay $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pakman or enter the code Pakman in the app to get started. The link is in the description.